fourth graders. All right, we're going to get started by reviewing our homework. So make sure you're on page 15 to start. We'll go through numbers 1 through 5 on that page, and we'll do 7, 8, 9, 12, and 13 on page 16. So let's take a look at those. Remember, if I'm going too fast, you can always rewind the video and watch again, or you can pause it too, especially during work times. All right, number 1 wanted you to fill in all the blanks over here, okay? So the 4 in the hundreds place has a value 10 times as great as the 4 in the tens place. We know that these pictures here show 400 and these ones here show 40. So number 2 wants you to find the value of the given digits. So 4,000 and 400. Number 3, the eighths values were 80,000 and 8,000. Number 4 and 5 want you to describe the relationships. So you should have said something kind of like the 6 in the thousands place is 10 times as great as the 6 in the hundreds place. And number 5, the 4 in the 10,000s place is 10 times as great as the 4 in the thousands place. All right, we got a few more to look through. Number 7 wanted you to name the value of each 2 in 222,222. So it's almost like expanded form for this one, but we don't have the pluses. So we have 200,000, 20,000, 2,000, 220, and 2. Lots of 2's in that one. Number 8 wanted you to use the chart to help answer. Sorry, I'm trying to make this a little less blurry. I don't know if it's working. Okay. Figure out who sold the most cups. Well, Kim sold the most. And who sold the fewest? Tino sold the fewest. Number 9 wanted you to figure out how many were sold in all. Write and solve an equation. So I wanted you to show your work. To do 20 from Leah, 10 from Tino, 50 for Kim, and 40 for Neil. You could have done them in a different order too, but you should have gotten 120 cups. And my favorite way to remember we need that word cups is because it's a word problem, so we need a word in our answer. All right, and we have 12 and 13. Which of the following shows the values of the 5s in 15,573? Well, it does show 500, but it doesn't show 5. It doesn't show 50 for that one. It doesn't show 50 again, so it's not this one. It does show 5,000, and it does show 500. So D was our answer for 12. And 13. We had to find the value of the red digit. So looking at those, the red one, that's 10 times as great as the value of the green digit. So A is not right because the red digit is 10 times less than the green. We want the red to be the 10 times more. B is way too far apart. They have to be right next to each other to be 10 times. So no. C is right because they are right next to each other. The red is the greater one. And they're right next to each other, so they're 10 times apart. And D, they aren't right next to each other, and the red is behind. All right. So that was our homework. Nice job. All right. So what we've got today is comparing numbers. Now, this is a skill you've been doing for a long time. We're just going to think back on how we compare numbers. You might have heard about like Hungry Alligator song. I've got this. We're just going to watch it for a little bit. I want you to pay attention to how they line up numbers and how they compare, which way they compare. Is it from left to right or right to left? Oh. Why won't that work? All right, let me try this. Okay, it's still recording. Just want to make sure. All right, let's go. Comparing numbers. Because it worked when I watched it on just YouTube.
Numberrock.com's complete digital library of math videos is now available ad-free and shop.
All right, here we go.
432 and 824. The gator eats the one that's worth more. He looks at the place values from left to right. It's the greatest hundreds place, so he takes a big bite. The hungry alligator eats the number that's greater. The number that is least is never part of his feast. 355 and 332. The gator needs to eat the one with the greater value. He looks at the place values from left to right. Five's the greatest tens place, so he takes a big bite. The hungry alligator eats the number that's greater. The number that is least is never part of his feast. 145 and 149. The gator needs the greater value on the number line. He looks at the place values from left to right. Nine's the greatest ones place, so he takes a big bite. The hungry alligator eats the number that's greater. The number that is least is never part of his feast. Now the numbers are the same on both sides. The gator wants to eat, but he can't decide. Neither is greater or less. It's a perfect tie. So the alligator writes an equal sign. The hungry alligator eats the number that's greater. The number that is least is never part of his feast. The hungry alligator eats the number that's greater. The number that is least is never part of his feast. If there's a line underneath the greater than sign, greater than or equal to is how to sign.
All right, so we're going to stop it there because we don't need to talk about that stuff. We're just doing that regular old comparing. So now let's get this back open. Oh, wrong one. Jumped around on me. All right, so now we're going to do some work in our notebook. So have your comparing numbers page and a worksheet to do some practice problems on, or a notebook page to do practice problems on next. Pause the video if you need to go and find those. Not quite yet. I'm going to get my camera up. That's what I was trying to do. All right, we're going to make it a little bigger. Try to move this guy up just a little bit, maybe. Alright, so on the very top, I just put my date. So make sure you get the date for today written on top. And then we're going to use our notebook page to get started. There we go. Alright, so today we're going to compare multi-digit numbers using greater than, less than, or equal to. So we've got 3 kids on our worksheet. The first one says, use me to show greater than. The greater than sign always is open to that first number. So I'm going to kind of decorate my greater than sign. If you have crayons or colored pencils around, you could do that. But I'm going to do it just in like a stripy pattern. The middle one says, use me to show equal. So I'm going to do some squiggles to kind of color in my equal sign. And the last one, the boy says, use me to show less than. He always points the small end to the first number And the second number, it would be like the alligators chomping on it. So for this one, I'm going to do some polka dots, just so I can tell the difference between the three of them. All right, so now we have to be math detectives. We're going to line up the numbers and look closely when comparing. So we're going to compare 473,824 and 473,842. So just like in the video, we're going to line up our numbers of 4, 7, 3, 8, 2, 4. And underneath, I'm going to do 4, 7, 3, 8, 4, 2. So we're looking at that place value. We're finding the spots, and we're comparing how many of that spot there are, and which one has more, less, or if all of them are the same. So I start at my 100,000s. 4 and 4. 100,000s, 400,000, 400,000. That's the same. So I go to my 10,000s. 70,000 and 70,000. That's the same. Now I go to my thousand spot. I might want to add my commas in there to help me separate it and see it nice and quick. 3,000 to 3,000, that's the same. So now I go to my hundreds. 800, 800. That's the same. Now I'm to my tens. 2 tens or 4 tens, 20 or 40. Well, I know that 40 is bigger than 20 and 4 tens is bigger than 2 tens. So the hungry alligator wants to eat the number that is greater. So I know that my second number was my greater one. Now I have my problem written sideways like this. My first number, 473,824, a big circle to put what's called my inequality, those signs. And then my second number, 473,842. So same numbers, and I remember that my second one is greater. It was bigger. Now I'm looking which one of my signs points to the bigger number. That's right, my less than sign does. It sounds backwards because I'm saying that this first number is less than this number. The less than sign always points to that little number first with that, like it's almost like it's the back of the throat and the teeth are up here in the front. It's chomping on that big number because the hungry alligator wants the number that's greater. The number that's least, remember, is never part of its feast. That's why it's over here. The alligator's like it's turned away. Let's do some practice ones on our notebook page. All right, we're going to cover this up and we'll show you it in just a moment. All right, so first we're going to start by completing the problems by writing greater than, equal, or less than in each circle. Remember, if you need to pause the video to write them, go ahead. All right, so the first two we're going to work with. 2,643 is something to 2,643. Now, if you want to rewrite them to stack them, you can. I'm going to just look and I'm going to use my 2 fingers to touch my numbers. So my thousands and my thousands, I start as big as I can get. Well, those are the same, 2,000, 2,000. So I go to my next place, the hundreds, 600, 600. Well, those are the same. Now I go to my tens, 40, 40. That's the same. 3 and 3. Those are both the same. So I would use the inequality equals. Let's try this one. 62,519 to 64,582. Start in my biggest place for both of them. So this one is my 10,000s and this one's my 10,000s. Same spot. So let's look 6 and 6. Same. Let's go to our thousands. 2,000 and 4,000. Well, 4,000 is greater. So I know my right number is greater. I want my sign to open up to him. I just make almost like a sideways triangle. And then I could read this. 62,519 is less than 64,582. All right, so I want you to try with, let's go, these next, there we go. With these next, let's see, 6. So go ahead and write down these problems and work on these. I want you to try and solve them by putting the right inequality. Is the first number greater? Is the first number less? Or is the first number equal to the number on the right? And we'll review these when you're done. All right, so remember to pause that video if you need more time. I'm sure you do. And we're going to correct them now, okay? So the first one I know is greater than, because I have more 100,000s. The next one, 19,219, is also greater than 1,921. We can tell this one right away because this one goes to a new spot. This one's only in the thousands, this one's in the 10,000s, so we can tell it's bigger just by looking at it. Down here, 22,873 is greater than 22,774 because of that 100 spot. 68,425 is less than 78,425. This next one looks really hard, but it's not, because we know this is 999,999 compared to 1 million. Well, 1 million we can see has 2 commas. This one only has 1, so we know this goes to an extra spot, which means that 999,999 is less than 1 million. And our last one up top, 912,706 is actually equal to 912,706. All right, so that was first comparing and then how to read them. Now I've got one more part for us to do in our work together. This time we're going to write the place value to use when comparing. So I'll give you time after to write down these problems, but first look at this first one with me. Pause the video if you need to write just this one to do it with me. So I'm going to write the place that we use. So I'm looking at my first spot where they're all lined up. 3 and 3. Does that help me figure out which one is greater? Nope. All right. So let's look. Now I have a 9 and a 2. That does help me because they are different. What's the name of that place? That's right. It's the 10,000s place. So you're going to do that for these next 4, okay? Pause the video so you can write your numbers to compare. And when you're writing them, really make sure you line up our place values. Our commas line up so that we don't miss or mix up any spots. Unpause the video when you're ready to see which places you would use to compare. All right, the next one, we would actually use the ones place because everything in front is exactly the same. For our next one, we would use the hundreds place compares. Bottom row, we would use our thousands here. Thousands, even though it has 10,000, we use the thousands. And for our last one, it is the 100,000s. I'm going to write it underneath. The 100,000s place that compares. All right, so for your homework today, you're going to do some of this, and I think you have some review ones too. So let me know if you have any questions on your homework, which is page 21 and 22, numbers 1 through 16, 18, 20, and 21. All right, take care. Remember to have fun with that hungry alligator. Bye.